In this video, we are going to discuss about DTD. DTD stands for Document Type Definition. The purpose of DTD is to define the legal building blocks of XML. Earlier, we have seen something called well-formed XML document, correct? So when I say a well-formed XML document, a well-formed document is the one which follows syntax rules and all naming rules or naming standards. Then I can say that the document is well-formed document. But coming to business transactions, at the time of B2B applications, we use this XML as a media to interchange the data between two web applications. So the moment when you share the data in the form of XML between two web applications, we have to have a validation or control over the XML. When you share that XML from one server, that should be known in advance to the other server about the structure of the XML. So the actual job of DTD is that. What DTD do? It is actually defining the legal building blocks or the entire structure of the XML. Okay, let's look at what are the different ways of defining or declaring DTDs. There are two ways actually. One is internal DTD and another is external DTD. The syntax of internal DTD is somewhat like this. Okay, doc type root element within the square brackets we are going to define all the legal elements or whatever elements there in the XML are defined within the square brackets. This is how internal DTD declaration happen. Coming to external DTD, we are going to write all the declarations in one document and save the document with the extension called .dtd and refer that as DTD document within this particular syntax doc type root element system followed by the location of that file. These are the two different ways where we can declare DTD for any XML document. And coming to the XML document, okay, if you see that the XML document through this DTD can find 5 different building blocks in XML. Those are elements, attributes, entities, PC data, C data. Let me show you, where these particular blocks exist in an XML. So here is the XML document. So in this XML document, the root element is profile. Okay, the root element itself we can say it's an element. Name is an element. Father name is an element. Address is an element, and of course working is also an element. Okay, and coming to the attributes, here I said the sex is male, right? This is what we call attribute, and the value or the data which is written within this particular element, this is what we call PC data. PC data stands for parsed character data. This data usually parsed by the parser software. Parser is a piece of software which actually interpret the XML documents. So the data what is written within these elements usually parsed by any parser software. They can read this data, they can manipulate this data. Okay, and the next one is C data. The attribute values which we specify, usually we define it as a C data. C data stands for character data. Usually this character data cannot be parsed by the parser softwares. Okay, so this is just to give information about this XML elements, nothing more about it. And sometimes we use something called entity references. Entity references are some sort of shorthands where you can use that shorthand to refer a particular name or a text. Like I say, ampersand designation. Here the designation of this candidate is defined somewhere the the shorthand for that particular designation is ampersand designation. Okay. In the DTD, we do define this entity reference. Let's look at how to validate this XML document. To validate the XML document, we do start with doc type. Then the root element is profile. The syntax of internal DTD is this: space, square brackets, close. Here we are going to define everything. The first element is profile. Profile has some child elements. The child elements are name, fname, address, of course working. Okay, and the profile has something called attribute. To define the attribute, we have something called @class. Profile space something called sex space. Yeah, to define the attributes, we have a syntax. Let's look at that. So @list, element name, attribute type, default value. Attribute type is CData, and default value, when you say male, by default it is male. Okay, or sometimes you can simply say hash fixed. Hash fixed male means that at any cost the sex should be male. Okay, the value of the attribute called sex should be male. That is meant by fixed. If I say hash required means it is mandate. The attribute must be present in the profile tag. We don't care about what value they are going to assign. Okay, suppose if you say hash implied means that we are specifying that this particular attribute is like an optional attribute. The XML document may or may not have this particular attribute. That is meant by this hash implied. For sake of this example, let me write the direct value called male. It's a default value. That's what I am specifying here. And the next element inside this profile is name. Okay, when you define it, there must be a space in between the element name and its definition. So what is there in name? Some data, that is hash PC data. And the next element is what? Father name. Again, father name is also a PC data. Coming to this address now, address has 5 fields. Within this, we have something called street, comma, yeah, house number, village, mandal. House number, village, comma, state, mandal, state. Yeah, correct? Yeah. Mandal, state. Yeah, this is how we define this. Next, element street is PC data. HT number is also PC data. Village PC data, mandal PC data, and state PC data. The next one is working. Yeah, working has three childrens. Okay, the childrens are designation. First one is salary, designation, experience. experience. And coming to the salary, salary is a PC data, designation is a PC data, of course experience is also a PC data. This is how we can define a XML document. Yeah. Coming to these elements, we find two different elements. One is the element which contain child elements, the element which contain PC data. Other than this, we have so many. Let's look at those. So empty elements are there. Sometimes you find without data, elements without data. Let's say let me write location. There is no value for this location. This time we have to define like this, location, and say this location is actually empty. Location, and you can say, so it's an empty element. Like that you can define the empty element if the empty element present in your XML document. And of course we know how to define parsed character data. And sometimes we have a markup tag. Let's say I have a markup tag. Let's say what do we do? Name of the company, NC. So sometimes this name of the company could be anything, okay, like a name, just simple name, or sometimes it says empty, sometimes it is having some other children, okay, like that. If you find any element, that time we are going to define it as any, okay. And of course we have seen the last one. Coming to these children may repeat any number of times, okay. Like for example, if you see this address, right, this address element may repeat more than one time, because we do have permanent address, temporary address, all those stuff, right. When you want to define such kind of repetitions, we have to define it in the DTD, right, saying that this address will repeat 2 times, or this address minimum it should exist at least once, okay, and maximum. So when you want to define such kind of repetitions, you can with the help of special symbols. When you have a children, it occurs only once, probably we say simply element name of children name. In our example, whatever elements we have, whatever children we have written, all of them exist exactly once, okay. Name exists only once, father name exists only once, address exists only once, working exists only once. That's how we have written, okay. Suppose if you want to specify this address could be more than one, okay, then we are going to use something called plus. Minimum occurrence of that element should be 1, maximum could be any. So you can simply say plus. When you write star means address minimum existence is 0, maximum any. That's the mean of star. If you put star, it should exist either 0 times or 1 time. That's the meaning of star, question mark. And finally, we have to discuss about either or content, mixed content. Either or content. So if you see this example, note has the children's like to from header, and of course one more child exists. It could be either message or it could be body, okay. Finally, mixed content. Sometimes the childrens may have, or the elements may have some children, and sometimes the same element may contain some PC data. Like best example is this: when you say address, you can write an address within a line saying that it's a PC data, or you can classify that address with different fields like street, nearby location, state, mandal, district, all those. Okay, so both the ways we can say, or we can specify the address. That time we use mixed content. Here is an example: note. It could be a small information like a note, right? Or it could be a mail like to, from, header, message, everything exists. Okay, this is usually we define the elements of XML document, and of course we have seen how to define the attributes. And coming to the elements and attributes, here I have given a small example. When we talk about these attributes are defined within the element, correct? So the practices says whatever information you are using, or whatever information you are sending in the form of XML, make sure that the entire data is written in the form of elements. If you are sure about the data, that is not at all useful, okay, even though if you parse it by the parser, then you can make it as an attribute. Okay, that's actually practices said. If you see this example, instead of putting this sex as an attribute, you can make it as an element. So if you make it as an element, this become PC data. Female becomes PC data. Earlier it is what? C data. In the case of C data, we cannot parse by the parser, whereas in the case of element, you can parse with the help of parser softwares. That's the basic difference. And coming to the entities, we forgot to define this entity reference. So here is the best example for entity references. In your DTD, you can say entity designation is professor, let's say. So where and when you place ampersand designation, that replaced with professor. Instead of saying every time professor, you can use ampersand designation. Okay, this is how entity references useful in a DTD.